Well, I'm sorry that this was a delay on the next episode. So today, of course, we're going to be reviewing Ring of Honor with Supercard of Honor, featuring, of course, not only the main card, but we also got the 0 Hour, which features some amazing matches on this one as well. But of course, we will go through the main card, which majority of it has championship matches, ranging from both the men and the women's pure titles, the world television titles, and of course the trios titles in the 6-man tag team belts, not to compare from AEW, of course, and of course the survival of fittest featuring the Ring of Honor Women's World Titles. So we'll see how things will go from there. And then of course we have AEW Collision, featuring of course the main event, Darby Allin defending in the championship once again to a surprising guest that made the call a day before. This will regarding, of course, at Ring of Honor. So we'll see what happens from there. And then, of course, we do have some news updates to give you guys updates what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So let's get ready for another Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. In the world of pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do some real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Nagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough of the jibber jabbers. Let's get started. So, let's begin, of course, with Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. Okay, guys, so Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. This happened recently on Friday, on May 15th, of course. We opened up with Sammy Guevara taking on Action Andretti. Now, nothing too special about this match whatsoever, but I can give you the brief version. This match ended with Sammy applying the GTH, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. However, he did call out his LFI brethren, of course, Roosh, and that's where we jump in with Roosh taking on LSG. And this one went into a quicker one because LSG ended up getting the bullhorns, and just like that, you know, the old saying goes, you mess with the bull, you get the horns, and just like that, it was over. Now, we did see a bit of a video promo from Shane Taylor Promotions, our current ROH World 6-man Tag Team Champions, Carly Bravo and Sean D, known as the Infantry, along with their boss, Shane Taylor. they decided that they were going to put an open challenge to put their six-man tag team belts on the line. But with the exception, they don't want Eddie Kingston, Ortiz, or Mance Warner. After all, they did defeated them a day before. So let's see who will answer the call. Now, our next match, we have a women's tag team match. Janai Kai and Lacey Lane, they team up to take on Mina Shirakawa and Queen Aminata. And I thought this match was pretty good. I mean, when it comes to Mina Shirakawa and Queen Aminata, it seems like they were a good team. Not gonna lie, they felt like they fit in perfectly, you know. But we cannot deny Janai Kai that she is a very impressive martial artist. Lacey Lane, we know her reputation. But however, we did see the figure 4 leg lock by Mina Shirakawa onto Janai Kai, and Janai had no other choice but to tap out. Now, we did see a very interesting video promo from Lee Johnson and Jay Lethal. As you know, they are in the good spirits because they believing this will be the moment where, of course, Blake Christian will dethrone Bandito, and Blake Christian will seminize his name as the new ROH World Champion. But that's until the fat lady sings, boys. But he also called out one person, of course. Lethal talked about Samoa Joe. He thinks that Anthony Bowens made the biggest mistake learning from Joe. And so they called him out the next day. They would, in fact, Lethal and Johnson will team up to take on Samoa Joe and his protege, which of course eventually happened. But we'll get to that at some other point. Now, our last match involving the 0 Hour, we have the premier athletes Tony Nese and Arya Daivari, along with Story Denali and that idiot Smart Mark Sterling to take on the Rascals. So that was a pretty good match. Of course, we all knew that Smart Mark Sterling was faking the injury the entire time. Zachary Wentz went to stop him, but Story Denali basically tried to stomp too. But however, it was not enough, and good thing, because apparently Smart Mark Sterling finally, after many months, someone actually kicked his ass, and that was Zachary Wentz. But of course, this match ended with Myron Reed pinning Daivari, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. And I'm sure Smart Mark Sterling, being on a temper tantrum, that he's not going to like this. So that's pretty much what happened in the 0 Hour of Supercard of Honor. Now, let's jump into the first match, and our first match is a Pure Rules match. Josh Woods versus Nigel McGuinness. Now, it's no secret, Josh Woods is a former Pure Wrestling champion, so is Nigel McGuinness, so this was going to be much like that. However, man, these guys exceeded all the rope breaks. I mean, it was intensified. But there was a good moment where Nigel comes in, because don't forget, guys, he has done commentary work as well. And then Josh Woods joined, and then the ref was like, join in, saying, you guys better get back in the ring after the count of 20. And I thought that was the most funniest moment ever. But, of course, it resulted of Nigel McGuinness picking up the win. And just like that, with the lariat, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, we jump into our first championship match, which is the ROH Women's World Television title. Red Velvet, coming straight out of your mama's kitchen, takes on Viva Van. It was a pretty good match, I'm not going to lie, but it was not the best, of course. I mean, I would have liked to see someone a bit more stronger, but Viva Van is a much capable wrestler. But unfortunately, she was taken out by Red Velvet with the heel kick. 1, 2, 3. Red Velvet retained the championship. Now we jump into the men's World Television title. AR Fox taking on Lio Rush. Now this one became a rather bizarre situation. Action Andretti showed up, showing a bit of support to Lio Rush. But at some point, when the ref was not looking, of course, Action Andretti turned his back on Lio Rush, just pushed him off the turnbuckle. And just like that, you know, we did see a 450 splash by AR Fox. 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, we don't know what was going on, but we'll get to that in a bit. Now, we did see a interview with Lex Luger talking to Sammy Guevara. Well, as you know, they mentioned that they were unable to, he and Beast Mortals have been unable to defend the ROH tag team belts, which is something they wanted, but they couldn't. But however, of course, Sammy has his sights set on the AEW World Championship, so it will happen on Collision. So that's exactly what happened. So he claims that his record stands. He will take that title and become the new AEW World Champion. Now, our next match is the women's pure title, of course, Diamante versus Deonna Purrazzo. Now, this whole thing began when Deonna Purrazzo became the first ever women's pure champion. However, in Athena's case, she feels like this title has been defiled by someone who is not even worthy to become this. And this was, of course, a belt that many of us could say was made for Deonna Purrazzo because we've seen her technical wrestling before. She's really good at it. And that was the whole point. But Athena doesn't seem to do so. Billy Starks couldn't defeat her, so of course Diamante was sent to do so. Now Diamante has been using the Fujiwara armbar that Deonna has used a lot in the past. But however, apparently Deonna had trouble trying to get it locked in, but it resulted of her using the Venus de Milo, which is much a vicious than, of course, the Fujiwara armbar, and just like that, Diamante tapped out. Now, we've been asking about Action Andretti over his actions towards Lio Rush. Well, he just revealed why he did it. He said, of course, that he felt like he was discarded. He's been waiting for him to find out what the hell is going on. So, it seems now, Crew is done. So, no more Crew. Now, let's jump into the next match, which is the ROH Pure title, which is the men's. It's Ace Austin making his first attempt versus Lee Moriarty. Now, no lying, Lee Moriarty is of course the longest reigning champion. But however, Ace Austin, I didn't think he was able to do so because at some point during this match, they both exceeded all of the rope breaks, and I didn't think Ace Austin was going to do that to, of course, to Lee Moriarty, which was impressive. But however, Lee Moriarty defeated Ace Austin with, of course, with the rope, with the bridge, but he used the rope as leverage, and of course, the referee, of course, disregarded that, not because he wanted to, it's because what's the point? And that was what happened. So Lee Moriarty retained the title. Now, we did see Red Velvet, as you know, talking about recently. She's been hearing about the Owen Hart tournament. She was upset that she was not being mentioned towards that. But I think and also she's talking about Willow Nightingale, calling herself the comeback killer, of course. And of course, we did see that match take place in Collision, so we'll get to that at some point too. Now, Lex and Ear talk to Busta and the Brain. Now, the Busta and the Brain do have one thing on their minds, and that's the ROH World Tag Team belts. And of course, they weren't unable to get their hands on it, but they had visited, of course, the Kingdom, of course, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. And of course, they decided that they have to confront them, and that is something special that we definitely going to see. So hopefully we get to see that soon. Now, the open challenge for the ROH 6-man tag team belts, Shane Taylor Promotions, the Infantry, and Shane Taylor, along with Christian XO and that idiot Anthony Ogogo, they take on their mystery opponents, and that is, of course, the Outrunners and boys, yes, Dalton Castle. I thought the match was awesome, and I didn't think it was going to be that good, but it was really, really good. Now, keep in mind, Dalton Castle has been 6-man tag team champions, one with the boys, I believe. But it was a fun match. But of course, Christian XO got involved, but that didn't do any well because we did see a combination with the Outrunners and Dalton Castle, and Dalton apply, of course, the jackknife on Shane Taylor, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new ROH World 6-man Tag Team Champions. But of course, the Crybabies, the losers, decided to put on the big boy pants and retaliate. However, that retaliation was cut short until, of course, Freshly Squeezed showed up, Orange Cassidy, along with reach for the sky, boy. And that is, of course, Mark Briscoe. So they decide to help out the champions, and just like that, everybody run to the hills. Now, our next match is the AEW National Title. Of course, Mark Davis, who's been undefeated in singles in both in ROH, defended the title against Shulwa, of course, another wrestler who's been involved in technically. And I thought this match was pretty interesting because Mark Davis was not easy to someone to take down. But of course, Mark Davis was able to prevail when he applied a lariat. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, he retained the belts. Now, Shane Taylor Promotions were not happy with the results, losing the belts. But however, of course, they called out Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe over what just happened. But they also decided, you know what? Let's take you guys on in an eliminator match for the AEW World Trios belts. And of course, the conglomeration, Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe, accepted the challenge regardless. Now, our next match is for the ROH World title, Blake Christian and Bandito. Now, for almost a while, Blake Christian has been aiming for this belt, trying to say he's the guy who's going to carry the company behind his back. He felt that, Bandito, your time is done. You need to go. We're taking this belt. Give me Bueno? Monday. Okay, so anyway, as I said before, Blake Christian has been aiming for this belt, and he believes this is his time now. He's going to solidify himself to become the new ROH World Champion. But of course, Blake Christian tried to find ways to, cheat his way through, try to get out of the ring so he doesn't have to play by Bandito's games. But unfortunately for Blake Christian, Jay Lethal and Lee Johnson, they got caught by the referee, kind of like when Daddy catches you with the hand in the cookie jar. So they were told adios and that sort of thing. But of course, Blake Christian did whatever it took to take down. When he thought, it's over, I'm the new champion, yeah, it's like, oops, it did not. Somehow Bandito was able to survive it, but Bandito once again applied the other version of the 21 plex, where the person is already flattened down on the ground. He just lifted them up, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he retained the championship just like that. However, unbeknownst to him, Swerve Strickland attacked him out of nowhere and just beat him up. Now remember, there's an implication regarding that they will be facing each other at some point, but we don't know what's the point. Now our next match, which is our main event, is the survival of the fittest for the ROH Women's World Championship. We have, of course, Yuka Sakazaki, Maya World, Trish Adora, Zeta Steel, Billy Starks, and Athena. Now, of course, there is the number games with Athena and Billy Starks and that sort. But this is exactly what happened during the elimination. Athena was able to eliminate Zeta Steel. Yuka Sakazaki was able to eliminate Trish. Billy Starks eliminates Yuka Sakazaki. And Maya World eliminates, of course, Billy Starks. But this led to, of course, a fantastic match. Athena versus her former student, Maya World. But there was a moment where Billy Starks was content to throw in the towel because Maya World could have won this belt, but it did not happen. But of course, Athena was able to pick up the win when she applied like a very super strong eclipse from on top of a ladder, and just like that retained the belt. And I think many people are sick and tired of Athena as the current ROH Women's World Champion. We need someone new. I don't know who, but we need someone new. We need to end this whole thing. But we will see Athena soon again, of course, in AEW during the Owen Hart tournament, and she'll be facing Mina Shirakawa. So we'll see about that. But as of right now, let's move on with the AEW Collision. Hey guys, just giving you guys a quick little breakdown of, many of you may not know, I kind of forgot about this when I recorded this. Well, I already recorded myself doing the review of AEW Collision, so it already happened. I will mark down the day it happened. As soon as we're done here, we'll jump into our news updates. So just give you a quick update on that. So right now, let's get moving. Okay, AEW Collision. Now, as you know, we're only 1 week away, of course, for Double or Nothing. And we opened up with a bit of a video promo from the Death Riders, first with Jon Moxley. As you know, Jon Moxley, let's just say he hasn't forgotten the one person that made him tap twice, and that is, of course, Kyle O'Reilly. Now, he said, Kyle O'Reilly, you may beat twice, but I'm not the same person that I was 6 months ago. So he is declaring that this time it will be different. So there will be an Eliminator match taking place this coming Wednesday. However, of course, Claudio Castagnoli called out Brody King, who is his opponent for the opening round of the Owen Hart tournament. So we'll see about that. And then, of course, Pac made a declaration that is Death Riders against the world. Now, we opened up with an Eliminator match for the AEW World Trios. We had the conglomeration with Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, and of course Mark Briscoe. Now, I know what you guys are going to think. Mark Briscoe is not one of the trios. Yes, but I think he's just stepping up if, of course, their opponents defeat them. And that is, of course, Shane Taylor Promotions. Now, of course, if you guys have heard what happened, Shane Taylor Promotions lost the ROH World Six-Man Tag Team belts against, of course, the Outrunners and Dalton Castle. So this will give them the opportunity to show that they're still dominant, no matter if it's in ROH or AEW. But of course, when it comes to trying to show who they are, of course, that fat lard Shane Taylor tries to get involved. That's what he did. But thank God they were able to take them out. But in the end, it was Mark Briscoe with the J Driller onto Sean Dean, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, the conglomeration picked up the win. Now, Will Ospreay, of course, let's just say he is now paying attention about Samoa Joe. Now, as you know, Samoa Joe has been calling him out about his association towards, of course, the Death Riders. So, he talked about Jon Moxley, how much he says that he feels that he is the ace now in AEW. And of course, this trust that goes out for him because he feels like he's letting people down over his losses that he had just recently since coming back from his injury. And then, of course, Jon Moxley himself again. So there's a lot of things that will be going on. So we'll pay attention to that. Now, we did see an interview with the conglomeration, Kyle O'Reilly. As you know, he is ready for Mox, and he's hoping that if he does defeat him, then maybe this is the chance for him to become the AEW Continental Champion. And of course, Briscoe, as you know, he still has some unfinished business against Tommaso Ciampa after what happened the last time. As you know, Ciampa betrayed him, and that leads to that. And of course, Willow, well, she has to face Red Velvet for her in an eliminator for the AEW, the TBS belt. My bad. So yes, so there's that taking place as well. So we jump into that Willow versus Red Velvet. I thought the match was pretty great, and I have noticed Red Velvet has, of course, defeated Willow Nightingale in the past, but I'm sure Red Velvet was ready for whatever Willow was intending to use. But unfortunately, Willow got the upper hand on her when she applied Dr. Bomb. 1, 2, 3, done. She retained the belt. Now, we did see another interview with Sammy Guevara. As you know, Sammy will be in the main event for the AEW World Championship in a no countouts match. Now, it's no secret from anybody who's been following AEW that Sammy Guevara and Darby have been rivals for many. I mean, Sammy has defeated Darby Allin before, but now he's determined, of course, to take that belt. And not to mention, Sammy hasn't forgotten about MJF. Let's just say MJF would definitely be pleased to see Sammy to defeat Darby. But Sammy will not be pleased with MJF since he has been one time a thorn in his butt. So we'll see how that plays out too. Now, Lex Luger did another interview with Darby talking about, first thing he asked was MJF. Well, he wasn't going to be there regardless. But of course, he knows that people has been questioning why you're defending his belt every single time, all that. But he said he loves it. And not to mention, he did state it to Speedball Mike Bailey. Now, Bailey did mention this past Wednesday that if somehow that he would like to be next against Darby. And Darby did hear that. He told him, hey, If I do survive my match against Sammy Guevara, you get next. So we'll see about that. Now, we did see in the back what's going on. It seemed that Tommaso Ciampa may have heard what was going on. He attacked Mark Briscoe in the back, choking him. Well, let's just say the fight went from the back all the way to the ring. And of course, Tommaso Ciampa was attempting to take out Mark Briscoe, but thank God for Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly for the rescue, and that pretty much it. So, but however, Briscoe did told, of course, Tommaso Ciampa that next week there's going to be an anything goes match. So, of course, this is one of Mark Briscoe's specialties that we're going to see. Now, our next match, we have the Ops, Anthony Bowens and Samoa Joe teaming up, taking on the members of Lethal Swirl. We're talking about of course, Lee Johnson and Jay Drilla. Now, it's no secret that Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal have known each other for many years, both on Ring of Honor and TNA, and of course, that plays out pretty well, of course. And Anthony Bowens, I have to say, he showed more of his killer instinct, that he was the more of the killer side, that he wanted to show up, and that's exactly what he did. He even applied a submission move onto, of course, Lee Johnson, and Lee Johnson just tapped out. However, of course, Bowens made his declaration that he is the pride of wrestling, and he said that Samoa Joe is his mentor, but he also learned actions have consequences. But of course, Samoa Joe called out, of course, Will Ospreay once again, because as you all know, Samoa Joe and Will Ospreay will tangle with each other at the opening round of the Owen Hart tournament. Now, we did see another interview with Lex Luger talking to Brodito. Now, as you all know, these two guys do have one thing in common, and that is Swerve. Now, of course, Brody King, who had his fair deal with him in the past, Bandito, of course, let's just say he still hasn't forgotten what happened. If you saw what happened on the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, well, you can guess that Swerve attacked him, and that sets it up right there. But he also said this: I know you're a dangerous man, but you must know I'm the most wanted man. And once I beat you, will no longer be the most dangerous man. So basically, he's declaring that he's going to beat him one way or another. Now, our next match is in a 5-minute eliminator match for the AEW World Women's Tag Team Championship. Divine Dominion, Lena Cross and Megan Bayne taking on Allie Katch and Kaya McKenna. Now, of course, obviously this match was going to fall in favor with the Divine Dominion. They applied the Divine Intervention onto Allie Katch, but however, it was Megan Bayne that picked up the win. 1, 2, 3, done. Now, once again, as you know, we are heading towards the Owen Hart tournament. This time in the women's side, we see Athena and Mina Shirakawa. So, of course, Athena hasn't forgotten what she did to Mina Shirakawa, but Mina said that she has a dream of putting her in a figure 4 leg lock. But Athena finds it laughable because she thinks that there is no way to beat her. But she also told her that I'm going to put you in next to Toni Storm. And, of course, you probably, how's that going to be? Now, Nigel McGuinness, I have to say, he had a lot of balls to try to talk to Lio Rush after what's been going on between him and Action Andretti. So basically, he kind of asked them what's going on with the two of you. And he said that everything's fine, and I mean, we don't know if that's really the case, but that's what he said. But I don't know what to say about that. But we'll see how that plays out too. But of course, when Nigel left, he just spit out this black stuff out of his mouth. I don't know, but Nigel did state that thank God I left. Well, you should be lucky because who knows what Lio Rush could have done to you. Now, our next match is a trios match ahead of the Stadium Stampede. The Dogs, more specifically David Finlay and Clark Connors, teaming up with Mark Briscoe, taking on the Rascals. Now, the Rascals, of course, there's no doubt in my mind, they're an awesome team with some great, amazing high-flying spots. But when it comes to Davis and the Dogs, these guys are aggressive, and that's exactly what they're capable of. But unfortunately, Myron Reed was the one who ended up being part of the full clip and pinned from Finlay, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, our last interview from Lex Luger, we did see her talking to Anna Jay. As you all know, Anna Jay had a comeback facing Willow Naga for the TPS title, and she's willing to admit, yes, the better woman won. But however, an unexpected friend showed up, and that is her fellow tag team partner and best friend, Ty Mello, and it seems that they have some new venture she wasn't going out. To me, I'm gonna say this, guys. They might be aiming for the AEW Women's World Tag Team belts. I wouldn't be surprised if they challenged them at Double or Nothing. That's something that maybe could happen, but we'll see. Now, our main event is the AEW World Championship in a no countout. Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin. These guys have faced off each other more times than we can count. And of course, Sammy was going to do whatever it takes to dismantle Darby in hopes he becomes the AEW World Champion. But however, that might have cost him because Darby applied a coffin drop, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Darby Allin picked up the win and retained the championship. So we'll see what happens this coming Wednesday, since we know that he'll be facing Speedball Mike Bailey, but we'll see. But as of right now, we're done. Let's move on. Okay, so welcome to our news updates, guys. So let's begin with upcoming events. Now, All Japan Pro Wrestling, it will be having their upcoming Superpower Series that will happen on the 18th of June. However, it was announced that during the start of the Corkin Hall, they announced that the NWA World Champion, Thrillbilly Silas Mason, will be making his title defense there. Now, this is the first time in 2 years that this title is defended, and the last person that did that was EC3. He faced against Ruki Honda, and of course he retained the belt. So it's still unclear who will be challenging for this belt. Now, to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if NWA and All Japan decide to form a partnership. I mean, that would be good for business. Not gonna lie about that. We know that WWE and Noah are in a partnership. AEW and New Japan are in a partnership. I mean, it would be a logical thing for them to do. So we'll see. Great announcement on June 18th, of course, is also announced. Global Wars is back, but this time we're going to see the collaboration with Ring of Honor, CML, and Stardom. Now, they haven't announced who will be participating. I can't wait to hear about this one. GCW Life of Crime in Phoenix, that will happen on the 28th of June. They announced the Butcher and the Blade taking on Cowboy Way, which is one called Manders and Thomas Shire. And then finally, Wrestling Revolver with Silence of the Slams. That'll happen on the 24th of July in Nashville, Tennessee. John Moxley makes his return, so that's going to be awesome. So that's pretty much it for our upcoming events. Let's jump into, of course, some upcoming events. Now, Fightful Selects has reported, of course, a very interesting rumors that's been going on about Jack Perry. It's been said that his contract with AEW is almost up. Now, people they talked to some people within AEW. They said they haven't heard anything about this. We don't know where this word is coming up. I mean, we know recently there's been talk about this with Jack Perry's girlfriend, Anna Jay. So whoever said this, well, I hope you better, well, hope you have good pockets, because you're gonna go to court for this. Anyway, Ian Riccaboni has mentioned during in a fight with Fightful Select that Beast Mortos and Commander were unable to participate in Ring of Honor due to visa issues. Now, this is something that's been common recently. Wrestlers coming from anywhere in the world because of the situation going on here. So that's one of the things we do know. Marigold has announced a very interesting announcement. Nyla Rose will be participating there. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're saying, wait a minute, isn't Nyla Rose on the contract with AEW? According to the information, yes, she still is. Now, I don't know what's her purpose to go to Marigold. We know that AEW do have a strong relationship with Stardom. I don't know what's the deal with Marigold. We all believe that Marigold and WWE have a partnership, but that's all we do know on that front. A recent new development came around. Stardom president Taro Okada has announced that they form a strategic partnership with American promotion Major League Wrestling, or MLW. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Aren't they in a working relationship with AEW? Yes, there still are, and we're seeing that. Even New Japan does the same thing with MLW. Kushida participate there. But they did say they will have wrestlers be participating in June of this year. Two of Hate members will be participating, Saya Kamitani and Hina. So there's that. Many of you remember I mentioned Garrett Borden, the eldest son of Sting. Well, if you guys remember, I mentioned he made his pro wrestling debut this past Saturday, and he just won his first on his debut match. So it's great to hear from him. I mean, we've been seeing both Sting's youngest son doing well. I can't wait to see what Garrett's gonna do. I didn't think that Garrett was gonna be involved, but it seems he is. So I'm great. Now, you may have heard what's going on recently. Apparently, WWE are confident enough to believe, because apparently they're hoping that Tony Khan and AEW will not sign a new deal with Paramount and Skydance. They're hoping that this will be the end of them or something, because as you know, AEW has been making. But Tony Khan says that, he is happy where he's at and all that, and he's confident that they will have the deal. Now, of course, I'm sure WWE fan base are hoping, come on, guys, just disappear for good. We don't need you guys around. WWE is better, that sort of thing. Look, we need AEW because that's where we get to see talent grow up, develop their character. That was the thing. That's something that I think WWE fans don't understand. I mean, you guys get upset when one of your favorite wrestlers is released, and you question, what did they do wrong? I mean, there's certain things that they did not like, but they want to grow up out of it. I mean, look, people thought that Cody Rhodes was never going to find success after he left with WWE, but it helped him in AEW, I mean, he may not have gotten the AEW World title, but that sort of thing. But there's been talk about that. We'll see if there's anything news about it. So, as of right now, let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. Now, I am behind on both New Japan, Stardom, and Choco Pro. With the special episode, that's a different story. I'll have to figure that one out soon enough. But right now, these are the priorities. Because I already, as you know, with Stardom, we're almost there to Grand Dynasty. That's one of the things. We do know that New Japan has begun the annual round robin tournament, the best of the Super Juniors. So I'm looking forward to that. Choco Pro, I can do that at some other time, but it is a priority as well. So we'll see how things will go. But for right now, we'll leave things as it is, and I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang!